Hi and welcome to Flop Turn River. My name's Rob King and today we're interviewing Max Steinberg, recent final tabler at the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas and a regular on our forums. How are you doing today, Max?
I'm doing well.
Now, this year has kind of been, or it seems to be us anyway, a bit of a breakout year for you. Is there any secrets to your success this year, or has it been a case of grinding away?
I don't think there's been really any secret. I haven't really changed anything that much about my game. One thing is that, though, I have been focusing on live tournaments a lot more lately, especially because of Black Friday. And I think I've been constantly improving, but really I feel like this run is just good play coming together with some good luck and making something really, really cool happen with my tournaments.
Well, I mean, it certainly has been a nice run. It's three final tables in this year's World Series?
Yeah, it's been 3 final tables if you count the national championship, and I've had 5 final tables in major events total in the past 12 months. So it's pretty damn good, I think.
It's certainly a good record that I'm sure a lot of us would be quite proud of. I mean, you were playing event number 9. You reached the final table there for your first one this year in the World Series. How did you feel when you walked away from that?
I felt really good. I had a game plan before that final table, and it was to sort of take advantage of the tight play that I felt like I was going to see from the good players early and try to build a chip stack. And I ended up chipping up like almost 300,000 chips, and we all started with 440,000 without seeing a showdown. And I was really happy with executing that game plan. My final hand, I ended up just getting it in a really big cooler situation with Johnny backs. So I actually felt really, really good about the way I played that tournament.
Okay, I mean, you also got heads up in event, what was it, 27?
Yeah, 27.
So it was mixed max. So it started off as, what was it, 9-handed to begin with?
It started off as a 9-handed tournament. The second day was a 6-handed tournament, and then the third and fourth days was a heads-up tournament that was 32 players bracketed like a NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really, really cool structure and fun event. I feel like it plays a lot to my strengths because I'm sort of a good all-around player. A lot of people are good at maybe just heads up or just full ring or just 6-max. And I feel like I play all of those very well. So it really tailored to my strengths.
Okay, I mean, what happened? I mean, we got the gist of obviously the heads up. If I remember rightly, it was quite a bad beat that sort of sent you or crippled your stack.
Yes, in the championship you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up getting it in a pot for the win with Ace King on a King 7-5-3 board against Isaac Hagerlink's King 10.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was happening so fast. At the time, I flipped over my hand, and I knew by how long he had taken that I was almost surely ahead. And I flipped it over, and my rail asked, "Are you ahead?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm very ahead." But I just hadn't really even processed yet the emotion of, "Oh my God, I'm about to win." And before I could even have that emotion, the 10 comes, and just total shock, and just I don't even know how to describe it. It just came over me. But I had some chips left, so I had to forget about that quickly and try to play my good game and hopefully get back into the tournament.
Okay, so I mean, obviously you're still playing the series. Have you got any events that you've kind of pegged out as being your event that you think you stand a really good chance of getting deep in again?
Well, I think that the 5K 6-max I was really excited for. I ended up going very deep. I got 15th and ended up just losing a flip for probably being top 3 in chips.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was definitely an event I could do well in. I'm probably going to play the 25K 6-max, and I'm not going to say that's like my event or I'm going to like I know I'm going to win that one. But I think it'll be really fun, and it'll be a small field, and I think that I will be one of the best players in the field. So that one I'm very excited about, and that one starts on Friday, I think.
Okay. I mean, we actually have a couple of questions that have got asked of you on the forums. Now, you said you were going to answer them in the interview, so it seemed rude not to. We've got Stacks who asked about when you were playing Event 9, you seemed to be opening larger than the rest of the table. Was there any particular reason behind that?
Yeah, well, I think a better question is, why do people open smaller? And my answer to that is, I think that a lot of people's logic of why they open smaller is they say, okay, with antes and blinds, the pot gets really big. So the blinds might be 10K, 20K, and the ante might be 3,000, and the pot ends up being big enough where the pot will be, 50,000 or something. So tournament players go, oh, the pot is 50,000. If I make it 45,000, I only have to win less than 50% of the time pre-flop in order for this to be a good raise. Mm-hmm. But what I say to this is, well, that's just indicative of the pot being really big. So let's say I make it 70K, which is, by a lot of people's standards, a huge raise. Well, I still only need to win pre-flop because the pot's so big, about 40% of the time, or 30-something% of the time. And I'm going to win more isolation when I raise it that big, especially getting isolation to people in the blinds. So I'm playing more pots in position, I'm taking it down more pre-flop.
The other question from the forums, Max, was from Poker Orifice, who wanted to know, when you're playing on these final tables, how does the delayed stream affect your games? Obviously, with people knowing more information, does it impact you?
Yeah, in the shootout final table, obviously, I mean, with both final tables, with the streaming hole cards, you're going to get a lot more information than you're used to. You need, like, I had someone writing down a lot of hands, telling me what my opponents had in certain situations, and that's just like a huge factor, because it allows you to adjust very, very quickly. And it does favor the good players because they know how to make the adjustments against what their opponents are doing. And it definitely gets in your head a little bit when you know that your opponents have the same information on you. But in the shootout final table, it really didn't cause me to adjust my game, because I felt like what was going to happen is people were going to see that I was opening really wide, and I was opening really wide with a really big sizing. And I thought that most of the players' adjustments were going to be, they're going to re-raise me, but re-raise me with an exploitably wide 3-betting range, and exploitable to just being 4-bet bluff shoved. So I felt like if I just continued to open and just shoved really light over 3 bets, that I would still be fine. And in the heads up, actually, it didn't really come into play that much, because we played a full 2.5 hours without taking a break. And by the end of that 2.5 hours, it was almost over. So we really didn't actually get any information on each other. But in general, I mean, when you're at these final tables, it's definitely it's a strange new aspect to playing them.
Yeah, I can imagine that obviously that much information can cut both ways. Sometimes it's like information overload.
Yeah, but it usually favors the good player, so I mean, I'm okay with it. I know some people, I've heard pros talk about how they don't like it, but David Tuchman made a really good point, actually, when I was commentating with them. Pros back in the early 2000s really didn't like it when they're showing hole cards on TV. And it was sort of a similar sentiment. And I feel like it's just something that poker players are just going to get used to, and it's going to be really common. And so that's just something that's going to be a part of the game in the next 5 years.
I think that's brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Max. Good luck with the tables. Hope you make that final leap and get your second bracelet this year. And we'll at FlopTurnRiver, we will be supporting you. So congratulations for what you've done so far, and good luck with the rest of it. Thank you.
Great.